Hello, my name is Johnny Binder, General Curator for Cameron Park Zoo. If you've ever camped out or spent very much time outdoors in the evenings, you'll know that the nighttime comes alive with a variety of interesting animals. Now, the animals that are mainly active during the night are called nocturnal, and many of these have specialized features that help them to thrive and survive in total darkness. And many of these guys are found right here in your own backyard. Today we're going to visit the Brazos River Country, the Ranch House, and the Herpetarium, and actually get to meet some of these unique species. Let's step into the wild.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Atherton. I'm the Animal Care Manager of Birds here at Cameron Park Zoo. Today we're in the middle of Brazos at Night, which is our night house, and it's home to many of our owl species that we have here at the zoo. We show 4 different species of owls here, including the great horned owl, barn owls, eastern screech owls, and barred owls. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about them today. Starting out with owls in general, many people know a few facts about owls, but not many people know how exciting they really are. One of the coolest things about owls is they have almost totally silent flight. This makes them a great hunter at nighttime when other animals can't see or hear them coming. As a result, most owls have to have very sharp eyesight so they can see well at night, and they have many adjustments made in their physique for this. One of the things is they have binocular vision, meaning that their eyes can see different distances at the same time. That allows them to see in 3D, as it were. They also have excellent hearing to help them locate prey at a distance. They are like true raptors. They have all their strength in their feet, which is for grasping and tearing up prey. They have very sharp talons and very strong feet. The great horned owl, which is the largest of all the North American owls, can actually exert about 500 square pounds of pressure from their talons. Now, to give you an idea of how strong that is, the average human man can only exert about 60 pounds per square inch of pressure. So that's a big difference in how strong they are. They use those talons for grasping prey, for tearing up prey, and for the most part, they will swallow their prey whole. Now, when they're digesting their prey, that means a different thing. They can't digest fur and bones and other small bits and pieces. So what they do is that's built up in their crop, and after a certain amount of digestion has occurred, they'll cough that up in what's called a pellet. And if you examine an owl's pellet, you can tell by the bones and the fur and everything exactly what they've been eating. It's a very good indication of the kind of hunting they've been doing in an area. Most owls are specialized for different kinds of areas. As I mentioned, the great horned owl is the largest owl. They take a lot of the larger prey. They prefer mammals or slightly larger things, although they'll eat reptiles, smaller animals as well. They are the only owl that is large enough to take a porcupine or a skunk. And the reason why they can hunt these is because they're very careful about how they attack porcupines, and skunks, they have no sense of smell, so that doesn't really bother them. Barn owls are actually the most numerous of owl species throughout the world. They are found on every continent except for Antarctica. Barn owls are actually, through the years, have been praised by people and have been found to be good luck omens in many cultures. Barn owls are called barn owls because they have a tendency to hang out in certain structures on farms. And that's because their favorite meal is small rodents, which are attracted by areas that collect grain, such as many farm places do. The average barn owl can eat over 1,000 small mammals in a year, and if they're breeding, they can go through that many in 3 months. It's often been said that baby barn owls can eat their own entire weight in an evening of animals that the parents bring to it. So if you can imagine, that's a lot of work to keep babies fed at that point. So they do a lot of pest control for farmers, and they're actually considered to be a good friend to have around on a farm. Now we have our eastern screech owls. There are 2 types of screech owls here in the Northern America area. We have eastern, and across the Rockies, the western variety of these. They look very similar, and the differences are very hard to tell unless you know very carefully what to look for. But amongst the eastern ones, there are 2 different color morphs that we look at. There's a gray color morph and a red color morph. And all these are variations on the same species. And it makes no difference as to the location or where they are. You can find either color in any area. These are the smallest of all the owls. They're actually considered or misconstrued to be babies frequently when people find them. Their favorite habitat is a hollow log or someplace where they have a cavity that they can hide in away from predators. And they also prefer to eat small bugs and things that are found in rotten wood. So they eat quite a few insects and small mammals. And they again have that very strong raptor claw that they can grab onto their prey with and hold on with. And they are ferocious predators for their size. The last species we're going to look at today is the barred owl. People call it more commonly the hoot owl. People may hear these frequently and not know what they're listening to, but this is one of the more common owl calls that you usually hear out in the wild. And their call is the who cooks for you? And you can hear it frequently throughout their breeding season as they're calling to each other. Now, barred owls prefer to be in river type areas if they can, and they eat a lot of the smaller vermin and amphibians and reptiles that live down near rivers. As you can tell, they don't have the ears tufts that the great horned owls do. They have rather a smooth head. And again, they're what's more commonly known as the hoot owl, but they are very common in this portion of Texas.
There are over 1,000 species of bats worldwide, but most of the bats that inhabit Texas are insectivorous bats. Insectivorous bats are colonizers, which means they live in specific groups, and then they also go out and hunt at night for insects and catch their prey while in flight. Because of these factors, we at the Cameron Park Zoo decided to exhibit non-native species, which are the Ceiba short-tailed bats and Jamaican fruit bats. These species are found in the Caribbean, and unlike the insectivorous bats, they are fruit eaters, which means that they eat different varieties of fruits, flowers, and nectars. And because of this, they are non-colonizers, which means that at any time, new bats can come into the group without any problems. So for this reason, we've picked these species to be representatives and ambassadors to our wild bats here in Texas. Bats can be found within any cave dwellings and also in trees, and commonly people actually build bat houses. Bats are very beneficial to humans because they cut down on our mosquito populations and also take care of other insect problems that we may have. Bats are nocturnal, which means they spend the majority of their night out hunting for food. They'll need to eat about 50% of their body weight in insects per night in order to have the energy necessary to continue life as normal. Bats are able to navigate their way through the night skies using echolocation. This is a high frequency sound or a squeak that actually will echo and will allow the animals to navigate through a dark environment, telling them what obstacles may be in their way.
Hi, my name is John Abernathy, and I'm a zookeeper here at the Cameron Park Zoo. I take care of the small animals around the zoo. This here, we are in currently the Brazos area night house, the nocturnal area. In here we have a variety of mammals and birds, all smaller critters, and so they are all under my responsibility. During a day, I come in here and I go through each of the different exhibits in the area. I take care of the animals, I change their water, I make sure the glass is clear so everybody can see the animals perfectly. I feed them, I give them a daily enrichment, and I take care of any of their other basics needs. Enrichments here at the zoo are a type of mental stimulation for all of our animals. They give the animals an extra thing to do. It stimulates their natural behaviors in the wild, where they like to forage, for example, like raccoons like to look for food and spend most of their day foraging and looking for berries and nice treats for them to eat. Here we try and stimulate that by putting some of their food maybe in some difficult containers that they have to try and figure out how to get their food out of, so it takes them longer to find their food. It also gives them some enjoyment, so it breaks up the daily routine of there's food, there's water. We give them some enrichment so that they constantly stimulated, constantly looking for something new and constantly enjoying where they're living and having a good life here at the zoo, so that it's not just basic care. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this skunk stall here. It's an enclosure. We have 4 skunks in it, and I'll show you kind of what we do to take care of them. This here is our skunk stall. We have Scratch, Sniff, Spike, and Spot in here. One of the larger skunks in here is named Sniff. He gets a lot more of the food than the others because he's a hungry little guy, but he is also very, very sociable. He was hand-raised because he was not able to care for himself when he was young, and because of that, he really, really likes people. He's one of my favorites. When I come in here to clean every day to pick up their leftover food or change their water, he likes to follow me around and figure out exactly what I'm doing with each and everything I do. So that's kind of really nice to see that he enjoys me coming in here and taking care of him. Today they got an enrichment of Cheerios as well as a scent spray of watermelon and cucumber. Sometimes they go around and try and figure out where the scents are coming from. You can see them rooting around. The food we give them a mixture of fruits and vegetables as well as dog food and the Cheerios today, and we spread it all around their floor here in this mulch, and they like to forage around for it. They dig through and try and find every last little bit. They also get very excited for mealworms. They are insect eaters and they do really enjoy their bugs. Some of the really cool things in here is that when we come in the morning, they know I'm coming in here. It's ready to go because I've turned the lights on for them, and they're excited. They're ready for food, they're ready for interaction, and they're ready for enrichment. And so they're always waiting right by the door for me whenever I come in, and it's a really cool thing to see.
The striped skunk is the most adaptable species and is easily recognizable by the big white stripe on its back. Skunks actually are solitary animals. The only time that you will see them together is during their breeding season, which is typically February to April. The gestation of a skunk is usually 62 to 66 days, at which time they'll produce 4 offspring. The offspring typically will wean about 6 to 7 weeks of age, and then they will become independent from their mother at about a year old. The 9-banded armadillo is native to the U.S., Mexico, Caribbean, Central America, and South America. When Spanish explorers came to the Americas, they gave the armadillo its name because in Spanish it means little armored one. The leathery skin of the armadillo is actually very rigid and almost plate-like, and it protects the animals from predators. The armadillo is able to tuck its tail and head within those plates to protect all the soft, hairless skin on the underneath. Armadillos are actually very interesting. They are crepusculary animals, which means that they're active in the morning and the evening, and the wild armadillos eat a variety of insects, small invertebrates, and different vegetable material. Armadillos are great diggers. They have very large claws on the front and back feet and can dig several feet within a matter of seconds.
Hi, I'm Connie Kastner, Education Curator here at Cameron Park Zoo, and with me I have Bert, a Virginia opossum. He is one of our education animal ambassadors. He is not very old. He was born this spring and was a rescue animal. And so we are able to use him for education programs to educate children and people about animals that you would find here in Texas. And also a neat thing about Bert is he is a nocturnal animal. So typically you see these guys at night. They are opportunistic feeders, so whatever food they find, they're gonna eat it. A neat thing about possums are that they are the only marsupials found in North America. Since Bert is a male, he does not have a pouch. Female possums can have up to 13 babies in one litter. And unfortunately, especially for us using them as education animals, they don't live very long, even in the wild. Bert here is kind of neat. Besides being a marsupial, he also has a prehensile tail, so he uses his tail for climbing and holding on. Now in stories, you see possums hanging by their tails in trees. This doesn't happen. They are way too fat. Look at his body. He's way too fat to hang by all of his weight by his tail. Also, he has the most teeth of any mammal in North America, and also his hind feet, on his hind feet, he has opposable thumbs, and this helps him with climbing.
Hello, my name is Amanda Butler, and I'm the Animal Care Manager of Mammals here at the Cameron Park Zoo. Today we're here to talk about Rascal. Rascal is a ring-tailed cackermissile, and they are actually found in this area along with New Mexico, Arizona, even up into Utah and Oregon. They prefer to inhabit rocky areas. They are strictly nocturnal animals, so they're pretty elusive, only seen in the evening hours and the dusk. They are a relative of the raccoon, so as you can see on Rascal here, she has a long ringed tail. Being that she is a small indigenous carnivore and a relative of the raccoon, she likes to eat a variety of small mammals. Their typical diet would consist of rodents and other small birds and insects. Here at the zoo, she gets a mixture of different diets, but her favorite treat here is mealworms. Raccoons are common to North America, but they're also found in southern Canada all the way through to Central America. They tend to inhabit a variety of different habitats, being wooded areas, streams, suburban and rural areas as well. Raccoons are very cunning animals that have quite a varied diet. They tend to generally be omnivores, eating a variety of nuts, grapes, berries, bird eggs, crickets, squirrels, small mammals, crayfish, and acorns. As we all know, they can be quite the advantageous eaters, though. They usually don't pass up any kind of a meal.
This here is our North American porcupine, Mr. Prickles. He is common around the northwestern United States. They are a very unique animal in that they have an adapted fur that has turned into a quill. The quills are their defense mechanism. It is very slender at the base and barbed at the tip. Porcupine also has a very unique adaptation. When a porcupine climbs a tree, they can climb very well, but they're not always so graceful. Sometimes they do fall out of a tree. And when that happens, some of their quills do get embedded in themselves. They have a secretion on their quills that is almost like an antibacterial that will keep them from getting an infection from their quills. So even if they do stick themselves, it's not a fatal thing. Another unique fact about the porcupine is that in the wild, one of their particular tastes is for deer antlers. When a deer sheds its antlers, the porcupines will try and find them and eat them. This provides them with a unique source of calcium, as well as it helps keep their teeth in tip-top condition.
The ocelot is an excellent example of a stealthy nocturnal predator, and it is one of the rarest cats in Texas. It was listed as an endangered species in 1972, and today it is estimated that less than 100 of these beautiful cats remain in the wild. Now, their population losses are primarily due to habitat destruction. These cats used to range pretty much all across the southern Rio Grande Valley of Texas, and now they range for the most part only near the Atascosa Preserve, not far from South Padre Island. The last count, their numbers are probably between 35 and 100, and so that is really a seriously endangered species.
Hi, my name is Ben Dahm, and I'm a keeper here in the herpetarium at Cameron Park Zoo, and I'm going to be talking about the American alligator.
The American alligator, the most common species of crocodilian in the United States, can be found in Texas and all the way to Florida. They tend to do most of their hunting at night and will eat just about anything, including mammals, fish, birds, and even other reptiles. Fully grown, they can reach about 13 feet or so. The ones in the back of the herp are about 4 feet long or so and about 4 to 5 years old. Another nocturnal hunter in the herpetarium is the rat snake. They are a non-venomous colubrid, meaning they constrict their prey. They are excellent climbers and feast mainly on rodents. One of the ones we have in the back of the herp is the Baird's rat snake, which is found mainly in western Texas, and the Great Plains rat snake, found in the northeastern part of Texas as well.
Thanks for joining us on today's Step Into the Wild. I hope this program inspires you to get out and enjoy the amazing creatures that inhabit our great state of Texas, and also in your own backyard.
The Cameron Park Zoo in Waco is a member by invitation of the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums and is an accredited member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, a worldwide organization of more than 200 accredited members who are leaders in global wildlife conservation and assistance in helping animals in their native habitat. For more information, visit CameronParkZoo.com.
Bert.